Am I live? Am I live?
Yeah.
Oh,
You're on.
okay. Hi, everyone. This is your host, Hulkatone, and as you can see, I decided today that I'm going to be a baller. You can tell by my exquisite Clyde the Slide shirt and
Clyde the Slide? You failed. It's Clyde the Glide Drexler.
See how Clyde the Glide shirt and the basketball, the round ball in my hand. I just wanted to share this with you because apparently we have some problems with the secondary show of FCN2 and their fake-ass white man can't jump commentary team. So, just remember, you put a ball in somebody's hand, they can be a baller. You put somebody in a ring, that don't make them a fighter. But we do got some real sports in the superior show here, and millions. How's everybody doing tonight? Glad that y'all here. So, speaking of being in the ring, we're going to start off with our main troll of the day, Floyd Money Mayweather. So, a lot of people were hitting me up saying, hey, why didn't you talk about this? Mayweather is going to be stepping in the octagon, and apparently it may not just be rumors. Supposedly, according to sources close to both Mayweather and McGregor, they're trying to come to an agreement that's going to probably bring in 3 times as much revenue as the original boxing match for Mayweather to fight McGregor in the ring, in the octagon. A boxer fighting a fighter. Look, Mayweather, you're confusing me. I don't understand it. You don't understand it. It's a money scheme. You got enough money, man. Just listen, take your wins. Go about your business, man. You already saying that you're the greatest in your weight class, greatest of all time. You got the record. What's the point of going to a different sport just to for fan favor? Anybody got a thought about that? Anybody? No? Okay. Well, either way, I'm going to watch it. So hopefully we'll see you on Bellator or something because let's be honest, who knows what y'all do at UFC and what kind of payments y'all take out. So good luck with that, Mayweather. Good luck. So we've also have some things to talk about as far as thugs. Not these thugs, though. It's Philly. Not that thug. We're talking about this one. The Milwaukee thug. As we remember back in November, she made me eat my words. I didn't think she had what it takes to beat Joanna for the strawweight title. Well, guess what? She did. And now it's being announced that her and Joanna are going for it for a second time. Now, take in mind, UFC 223 finally announced they're going to be co-main eventing with the lightweight interim championship between Tony Ferguson and Khabib. The guy that wears the poodle wig that we all get annoyed when he comes out. Yeah, that guy, the poodle afro. Yeah, so they're going to be co-main eventing. Now, if you remember back, the thug, she actually won the match by a first round stoppage. So to see them going back at each other again this coming April so soon without her fighting anybody else, it's really going to solidify her title reign. And honestly, that's why I'm going to watch UFC 223. Mainly because nobody really cares about the lightweight right now because Conor McGregor beat everybody and took the title, then retired after he got the money from said guy previously, this one. So, who knows? I'm excited about it either way. I think it's going to be a good bout. I'm ready for it. Thug, thank you for making me eat my words. The Revolution was excited. He was like, oh, she's from Milwaukee? Oh, yeah. He supports everything Milwaukee. Cheese, Packers. Producers over here talking, telling me all kinds of stuff.
You just worry about your show.
I'm worried about my show. You can't just be saying stuff. I get thrown off. It confuses me. You know, it don't take much. ADHD. Blame the drugs. All right. So I know y'all was looking at Black Lightning last night, right? Yeah. Remember I was telling y'all about that trip that me and the Revolution gonna take?
Nope.
No, listen, we gotta at least take one, especially to New Orleans this April. Ooh. So check it out. Now everybody knows WrestleMania is coming and everything, so it's gonna be huge, right? But guess what else is going on in the NO? The Super Card of Honor. Now, this is what, to Ring of Honor, what WrestleMania is to WWE. This is their big event. Now, take in mind, this also has New Japan there. It has Guerrilla Pro Wrestling there. It has a few other promotions there. But the main event of that night is going to be Cody, the American Nightmare Rhodes, versus Bullet Club leader Kenny Omega. So, and this is happening April 7th in New Orleans. And at that same time, guess what else is happening? NXT, the takeover in New Orleans. And what happens the next day? WrestleMania in New Orleans. And as much as I hate to admit it, I talked all kind of crap on Twitter. The invasion thing wasn't happening. It looks viable in this very moment. Now, as we said last week, Kenny Omega was timid about moving over to WWE because he wanted to come over with Kota Ibushi as the Golden Lovers. Now, Kota isn't getting any play in New Japan. Kenny is finna get booted out the Bullet Club by Cody as the leader. So does that open up them both to show up at the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royale? Ooh. It's a possibility. Also, by then we will have the first ever Woman of Honor champion because the tournament is still going on. It's a 16-woman tournament. Brandy Rhodes won her match, and the other chick, I can't remember her name right now. It was a very lackluster match, but it was decent. It could have been better, but it was a no DQ, and it just went to some very weird places. It wasn't very technical, but it was very brutal. So I like those kinds of matches, but I do like the technicality with it in them same motions. So I am excited about Supercard. I am excited about trying to get down to New Orleans with the Revolution and, the Live Forever. Yeah, so, take a big trip and, hopefully they won't be mad at me throwing beads because I've never been to Mardi Gras. So I'm going to go to New Orleans and just go butt wild. Hopefully I might go to jail. Let's try to avoid that second portion. But moving on to WWE news. Y'all like that? Y'all like the hip thrust? So on Raw, we had a very decent match. So finally they announced who all is going to be in the Elimination Chamber. Well, almost everyone that's going to be in Elimination Chamber. So, excuse me. So Jason Jordan is out for a neck injury first and foremost. Elimination Chamber match. You got Cena, Roman Reigns, Elias, Braun Strowman, and The Miz. Now, take in mind, there's another qualifying match coming up this coming Monday for the last and final spot, which is a fatal four-way between Matt Hardy, Bray Wyatt, Finn Balor, and Apollo Crews, which he's not going to get it. So it's going to be a one and done, which I have Finn Balor getting into it because that way, if the invasion really does happen, it's going to be huge because then you'll have Tama Tonga, who was recently mentioned on WWE television. You'll have Bad Luck Fale, who was recently mentioned on WWE television, who both have stated that they are not happy with the state of the Bullet Club. So then we could actually see the invasion mix into the big Balor Club, the OG Bullet Club, and it'll go crazy. You can sell that. WWE, do it, please. We need to see these people in this ring. So we have that, right? Great. Men's. Now we move on to the most important one, the women's. So Alexa Bliss will be defending her title in the Elimination Chamber for the first time since last October. So what? We're looking at 5 months now since she... That's unheard of. That's unprecedented. Even The Miz defends his title more than that. But it's going to be in the Elimination Chamber against Sasha Banks, Mandy Rose, Bayley, Sonya Deville, and Mickie James. But one notable name that wasn't on there, Nia Jax. So wait. You get the 2 sidekicks from Absolution in there, but Nia gets snubbed. Not to mention y'all gave her another squash match versus a 17-year-old indie wrestler. The girl is still in high school wrestling, and y'all had her squash her on television. Okay. But then Kurt comes out and says, hey, we'll have Asuka versus Nia, and if she wins, it's a triple threat at WrestleMania. It's not going to happen. We know they not going to give that to Nia. Nope. She's not defeating the Empress of Tomorrow. So why even tease us? What is going on in the back end where they're snubbing Nia? I need to know. First, y'all had her in this janky love relationship with the one who cannot be named. And then y'all just keep snubbing her out like she wasn't the dominant beforehand. Oh, but y'all was finna push Paige. But since Paige injured, why not move Nia back in? Oh, but you know, I don't know nothing. I'm not a professional and nothing, even though it says, you know, editor at my name, you know. So, but we had some good matches. Elias is really getting pushed. He actually won the triple threat match to come in number 6 in the Elimination Chamber. So John Cena, Braun Strowman, and Elias had a triple threat match, and it was a really good match. It was way better than I thought it was. They got a little grimy. I seen the old Jeff Jarrett style come out when he hit Braun Strowman with the guitar, and then the FAA, PG-13. I got you, WWE. The AA onto the stairs, only for Braun to come back, and it ends up with an Elias win. It was great. So it's really crazy that WWE really is starting to stand for Walk with Elias. On SmackDown, we had a very good show. It's more pushing of the Daniel Bryan versus Shane McMahon rivalry, which when AJ Styles came out and let them know, look, y'all both getting on my nerves. I literally thought about the time when I was a kid and I had 2 girlfriends that found out about each other and I broke up with both of them. And I was like, yo, AJ, you made this believable, bro. Because it's like, neither one of y'all really get me. So, bye. You know, I'll take care of me. Y'all take care of each other. And it was really good. So, we end up going into some more stuff. And like I said, AJ Styles put in place. You had a match for Fastlane pay-per-view where it was Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn to see who would go against AJ Styles. And now it's a triple threat after AJ interfered when Sami jumped in his face. It was really crazy. And I was just like, okay, I guess we're back to these guys going again. But there is something that was really crazy. Rusev Day was in the zone. All night you kept hearing Rusev Day. And he did lose to Bobby Roode. So I don't know if they're going to take this Rusev Day stuff and start pushing it a little bit more to get him in that world title contention right after WrestleMania, because they're really pushing this Shinsuke and AJ. It doesn't seem like a big rivalry from their nicks and bumps with each other, but they are literally pushing each other buttons, and I love it. Another thing is the Usos came out, cut a great promo talking about, hey, Uso Penitentiary ain't going nowhere. And they came out interrupting the Bludgeon Brothers music. So it looks like that's going to be their next rivalry. That's going to be the next people they shut down. We've seen this rivalry before with the Usos when they were doing the dance, war cry when they came out, and when it was the Wyatt family. But these teams, anybody the Usos go against, it's a golden match. Match of the nights every time. Yeah. Which moves on to our big thing for SmackDown for me was the live tweeting with New Day. Listen, New Day had one of the best promos with that when they were sitting there. Someone asked them on Twitter, if somebody was to go for a single run, who would you want? And Xavier's like, it got to be the smartest. Big E was like, it got to be the strongest. And they both looked at each other. That just leaves us to one person, Kofi. And I was like, yo, if we get Kofi to the title, listen, I've been waiting for Kofi to be a world champion for a long time. He's athletic. He has the look. He's charismatic. He does everything that you would want him to do. Even when he gives off that fake Jamaican accent. He probably really do like jerk chicken. I like jerk chicken. Who don't like jerk chicken? Everybody like jerk chicken. You like jerk chicken? Yes. You like jerk chicken? Okay. Everybody like jerk chicken. So, one of the things that was funny was the shading that was going on. So, New Day was sat there. They first came in. They were like, oh, look at our first question. It says, what you think would be best? Corey Graves' left jab or his right hook? Ooh, what is we talking about here? Then on the top 10 votes that superstars do, New Day came in number 6. And Big E said, 6, that's the exact amount of percentage I would have Corey Graves winning in a street fight. When I tell you, I literally had to pause the TV, pause. What? Rewind, play it again. And I was like, Big E, man, listen, New Day get away with a lot of stuff. Vince loves the New Day. They are so over, they don't need titles. I love it. I love it. I love it. So moving on to 205 Live, we'll come back to that Corey Graves thing. 205 Live introduced Rockstar Spug, who now goes by Drake Maverick, which that is the most unoriginal name in the world. You're a dragon and a horse. Drake Maverick as their new GM, which who needs a GM for an hour-long show? Touche. NXT has a GM. But William Regal is a different caliber of person. He's the uncrowned king we've came to the consensus. If you watch one of our upcoming lists, you'll see why. And basically they introduced a 16-man tournament for the Cruiserweight Championship. With that being said, the people that's still in it is Cedric Alexander, who was supposed to go against the one who cannot be named before. We have TJP as a previous champion. We have Kalisto, a previous champion. And we have Mr. Backbreaker himself, Roderick Strong. So, I'm excited. We will see a new Cruiserweight champion at WrestleMania. Hopefully they keep this action running, and hopefully they don't get snubbed and get put on the pre-show. We don't want that. But for my next portion, I will like to ask the Revolution to come to the stage.
How do I look? Where should I stand?
Yes.
Like that?
Yes, that is perfect. Thank you for sitting.
Okay.
All right. So, we still live?
Yeah, you're still live.
We still
Oh,
live?
okay.
Hey.
How's it going?
Hey, Hulkatone and
The Revolution.
Revolution.
Yeah.
So, we've had a very big situation happen, and a lot of big situations happening. But this one, I felt like I needed to act like it's a Thursday show and bring on a co-host in order to carry this conversation.
Okay.
So
I don't want to be a part of you firing shots, sir.
Oh, okay.
I don't have a co-host. I barely have a show. So
Okay.
I don't even really have a actual department. Like you guys have actual departments that get views, and the black nerd community hates me. So
Wait, that's debatable. I think my black nerd community looks up to you.
no.
No.
That 35 and over blurred crowd hates me.
Oh.
Which I don't know why I care about those old bastards anyway. But continue, kind sir.
Yeah, I mean,
Let's get this party a rocking and a rolling.
So, speaking of which,
Yes, sir.
we've had a big controversy between these two.
Yeah.
So, Mr. Five-Time himself, Shake Them Dreads, the original Shake Them Dreads, the original Spinneroonie. He's paved out some of the way for a lot of African American wrestlers.
Yeah, can I say this though? I think there are a lot of white ones. You know, a lot of people looked up to Booker. Booker was, like you don't, first and foremost, you don't talk about tag teams without mentioning Harlem Heat.
Harlem Heat, yes.
Harlem Heat, like legit, bro. Like if they're not in your top, they're not even top 5. I would legitimately say they're probably between 4 and 2.
I will give you that.
I would say between the argument,
the debate. Yes.
is between Harlem Heat is between 4 and 2.
Yes,
in most conversations.
Yes.
So, and then to come out of that, and then to emerge as a singles competitor. Not just as a singles competitor though. He's been a 5-time world champion. That's not including his various other times he's been tag team champion. Oh, yeah,
that's not including his King of the Ring reign, King Booker.
Yeah.
That's not including his bringing of his wife Charmaine. That's not including of all the successful wrestlers
from Chicagoland, by the way. Charmaine is from Chicago.
Yes.
Okay, just thought we said.
And his protege, who's the NXT Women Champion right now, Amber Moon.
Yeah.
And he came out on his podcast and said the reason why he's no longer a Raw commentator is because of this man right here, Corey Graves.
Yeah, the dude with the very effeminate amount of bobby pins holding up his.
It's bobby pin. I always thought it was hairspray.
No, sir. That's bobby pins are enabling this foolishness. In the Latino community, the Chicano, the Mexican community, we call this the bitch flip, man.
Oh my gosh.
Bitch flip.
This is the bitch flip right here.
Punta flip. Punta.
No, you don't call it that, okay?
You just bitch flip.
It's just a bitch flip, man.
Okay, so
he's a bitch though. He's a puta right here, man. That Corey Graves, he's a bitch, man.
you got the full-on alt-right haircut.
Let's hurry up. Make your point, because I got stuff to say about Corey Graves.
So here's the thing, right? There's been various times where I've caught Corey Graves splitting hairs. So when it comes to Sasha Banks, he's always saying how she's a spotlight stealer. She's always running out and interfering with Bayley's spotlight. She's interfering with Asuka's spotlight, etc., etc., etc. But when Rusev did the same thing the other week, he was like, oh, we're on the road to WrestleMania. You have to take your chance. Okay. You have to take your shots. We also see that a lot of times when he's commentating, he has a tendency to go after Byron Saxton on SmackDown and Booker T on Raw. Now, take in mind, he tried the same thing with Jonathan Coachman just last week, which I called, and Coachman snapped right back at him. Okay. In that same sense, we know about multiple fights between Booker T and various other wrestlers, such as Batista. Now, first of all, Batista is 6'7", 280 some odd pounds.
if WWE is saying 6'7", he's about 6'5".
No.
He's about 6'5".
He's about 6'5". Well, 6'5" is taller than me.
Jericho, they got Jericho listed at 6 feet. And
What?
Jericho's not 6 feet.
No, I wouldn't believe that.
Okay,
On
I'm
any
just
day.
saying, go
But
look at the stats.
either way,
Uh-huh.
these are big guys that Booker has been known to fight, get into it with, and Corey Graves has literally basically took Booker off because they were like, hey, we're scared you're gonna beat him up. We're scared you're going to hurt him. Okay. And Booker went on to his own podcast and said, yeah, I'm going to beat him up. When I catch him.
He said he would if if he's ever saw Corey Graves out in the street, he would put his hands on him. And he said, okay. So here's my point, because I don't know if are you asking a question? What's your question?
So where is this aggression? Because we don't see Corey Graves do this at Michael Cole or Tom.
Okay, so let me say this.
Mm-hmm.
First and foremost, let us come down just a little bit here.
Right.
Okay. When JR was play-by-play.
Right.
And the King was color, and then they moved Michael Cole in as color, the King would come for Michael Cole. That's almost, the dynamic of that position is to talk smack to one another. Right?
To egg each other.
However you want to put it, yes. Here's the thing, though. So with that being said, I felt I would listen to Corey Graves, and the shots that he was taking at Booker were very disrespectful. I don't think that they were fun jabs. I don't think that they were kayfabe professional jabs, right? He would always come for Booker about his diction and what he said. He could never seem to understand what Booker was like. What are you even talking about, Booker? Like, he always made Booker out to be a moron. And it started to become very problematic for me over the last couple months, where it was really very clear. It was very evident that there was a rift there, right? Because
Correct.
It was just he was taking shots at him, and I was like, whoa, that's be cool, man. And so the first thing that I thought of, I said, okay, maybe this is a little work, because they've done this before with Taz.
Mm-hmm.
They did this with, like you said, not Byron Saxton, the coach, Jonathan Coachman.
Yes.
Coachman and the King used to go at it all the time.
Yes.
And Coachman used to be a whipping boy for The Rock. He would humiliate him at every chance and every turn he could get. So at first I was like, okay, I kind of like this playful banter between them, and then it just started to get a little besides playful. It was it wasn't almost, it was insulting, right? And so then he was removed, and I saw Coachman, and at first I thought they had a chance to bring Coach back.
Yes.
Right?
That's what I thought as well.
That's what I thought, right? But here was something that kind of, I don't know if they are playing us, right? Because the first things first, right, is your job can step in and say, hey, man, chill out. Corey Graves, you doing too much.
Right.
Respect Booker T. He's here for a reason.
Right.
Your punk ass is so brittle, you couldn't make it because all that hairspray and bobby pins gave your punk ass a concussion, and you can't wrestle no more with those little bitty backwards white power baby teeth. Let me say something. It is something, I call it a Zeke Heil mouth. They have this Zeke Heil mouth, and it's just I promise to God, those Germans, I promise you, take a look. You look at those Germans, and he's from Pittsburgh, so I guarantee you he is of German ancestry. Mm-hmm. They have this thing where they two her teeth go back, and they got these little fangs here, right? And it's only in Germans. I don't see that little Zeke Heil mouth nowhere else, because they teeth look like they doing this. Both they teeth look like they just howling Hitler. They got the Zeke Heil mouth.
That's 2 days in a row Hitler has been mentioned.
Zeke Heil! Zeke Heil! Zeke Heil! And I'm telling you, Corey Graves, excuse me for being in your face with the Zeke Heil! Corey Graves is, we will soon find out that he is an alt-writer. I don't care what anyone says. He's very suspect. He just has that look about him. He has that air about him. He is causing a hostile work environment for Booker T. And we could all say now, I wouldn't be embarrassed if this has been a work. I'll be like, that's interesting. Because it could be a work.
Yeah, they sold it very well.
This could be a work.
And we also got to take in mind, for Corey Graves to put out the tweet that he did, which I don't have it, but it basically was quoting Sensu, the Art of War, saying, paraphrasing is, the smart man moves his enemy, not himself. And at the bottom of it, he basically is like, yes, this is what you think it is, as a subtweet.
Yeah.
And this is right after Booker came out saying what he said.
This could very well be a work that they don't legitimately let a lot of this stuff kind of get out. People have gotten removed from racial incidents in the past.
Yes.
It happened with, what's his name? The Mexican former luchador who used to be engaged to Paige.
Patron.
Yeah, Patron. He had an incident with Creative in the back, and he said something about you clean it up, kind of making a jab at his Mexican heritage. And he was like, what? And he slapped him. But that turned into assault, so, I understand that. But for this to go this far, I don't know. I feel like it's a work, but I do want to say this, that there's nothing respectful about Corey Graves. It's just, like the King. I'm never going to tell anybody that I love the King. I think the King is a racist. I don't care what anyone says. He's from Memphis, and you can say I'm generalizing. That's what you can definitely come for me at the Revolution on Twitter, Instagram, and your mom's phone. When you check her phone, your baby mama's phone, your sister's phone, your aunt's, a few of your cousins. When you check, go just the Revolution, and it's gonna be a picture of my dick. You got anything else for me, Hulkatone?
No, I do appreciate you coming on.
Gustav, ich bin ein bittes Corey Graves, Gustav.
Thank you.
Okay.
Well, on that note, we do hope there is some kind of resolution to it. And honestly, I do hope Booker T catches him in a back alley with a baseball bat. And what is her name? Lucille?
Yeah, Lucille.
Yeah, hey, look, Reggie Mathis, I'm giving a shout out to your show. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook, YouTube, and our website, and tell your mom about us, your dad about us, your cousin Vinny, that's a good dude, Principal Jefferson, all the kids at Middleton High, and all that great stuff. And don't forget to come back tonight to join Trezane, who was recently paid off, to not talk about my show. Join her tonight to talk about Versace's murder. It's getting crazy. I'll be walking in, and when they in the office rewatching the tapes, I'll be like, yo, I gotta walk back out. This stuff is weird, man. It takes you on some trips, man. But I'm Hulkatone, and I am out.